This conference will now be recorded.
So AWS backup is the service by using which you can automate the entire process. Okay, so you can write here. Okay, so what will you do? I am just repeating. So first you will start with the backup plan, and then here you will mention like various elements like name of the backup plan, then retention period, uh, then timing, okay, then frequency. So all those things you will mention here. Okay, then on which vault, okay, and etc. Then after that you will start. Once the backup plan is ready, you will start assigning the resources. So assign assign the resources to the backup plan. So this is how it will work. So once you configure this, so this is going to take, so that is why it has this symbol. So it is going to take the backup regularly until and unless you delete. So first you have to unassign the resource, then you have to delete the, no, you don't need to delete the backup plan also. Just if you remove this assignment from this backup plan, then it will automatically stop taking the backup. So main thing what you have to remember is, see this backup plan. Okay, so this resources, AMI will be created. Okay, so this will create the AMI, and which will be backed up with snapshots, which snapshots are stored in S3 bucket. So these are the important concepts you should understand. So snapshots are always stored in, or snapshots are stored in S3 buckets, which are managed by AWS. Okay, so you have to mention like this. Okay, so I will write it here because very important. Clear? Okay. Now the next concept is you have taken the backup. Okay, now you have a, you know very well what are the various plans you have, reserved instance. Okay, now what are the other type of activity? So now we discussed, while launching you might have seen only one ABS volume will be there, or you can say one hard disk, isn't it? So you can make a configuration in such a way that you can keep on adding additional disk. Okay, so there are two way. One, why we add additional disk? Suppose, let me explain you that today. See, in any EC2 instance, example, now this is one EC2. Okay, so let me copy this. So this is an EC2 here. Yeah, so this is an EC2 instance. By default, it will come with one volume. So this is that root volume, or you can consider this as a root disk. So root disk. This is where the operating system will get installed. Okay, operating system will get installed. So this is that. Clear? Now in organization we will not have only root disk. We have a tendency to add additional disk. It can be one, it can be two, it can be 20. It depends upon the requirement. But for now I am adding only additional one disk. Okay, so this is called as additional disk. Okay, so this will be empty because this will not have any operating system, because operating system will be installed here. So how much you are choose, I mean the size like 8 GB, 10 GB, 60 GB. While launch of the instance you can choose that, but for simplicity I am writing that as 50 GB standard. 50 GB is where standard, where everyone, because here we don't touch the root partition for any of our custom applications. Like similarly, if you just go to our PC, go to this PC, and if you see here we have three partitions, same only one disk, but we have segregated in three partitions, so that in C we will keep only config operating system related data, and D and E we are going to keep the personal data. So like that, so similarly we also keep the root disk only for the operating system related data. So this additional disk, I'm going to say this can be like 100 GB in size. So this GB you can attach while creation of the instance itself, or even after the launch of instance you can also attach the additional disk. But what things you have to make sure is this volume, whatever you are going to create, should be in the same availability zone. So should be in the same, should be in the same availability zone. It means it should be in the same data center. Only then you can attach to the EC2 machine. Clear? Getting the point? So should be in the same availability zone. And one more thing. So you need not. So okay, if and you will install some other custom applications. Okay, or the application team will install the application and they will use. Okay, so suppose if the disks are shortage, then there are two options. One thing is you can add the another disk and attach it, or else you can increase this. So this is everything is elastic, so you can, without shutdowning the server, you can change from 100 to 200, but there is no option to reduce the volume. That is not possible. You can increase the volume from 100 to 101, 102, 110, or 1000 GB. Like this you can always increase. So within minutes it will get increased. You're getting the point? So that is what I wanted to convey, guys. Okay, clear? Okay, so now we will do that hands-on also. Okay, if you are feeling it very difficult, we will do that hands-on also. It is very simple. So now we have a EC2 instance, we have root root partition, and we have additional disk application, and everything is working fine. But there is some, now going forward we need to now focus on more towards the security of our applications. Okay, so if the application is critical, no doubt you will launch it in the private zone, correct, or private subnet, isn't it? So you will launch it in the private subnet, correct? Yes or no? So let me change it. So this is the private subnet. Now you are going to, so let me bring the everything here inside. Okay, so this is in the private subnet. Okay, fine. So you have launched everything is there, you have installed the application also for perfectly fine. But now where you want to, how the customer will access it, or how the other people will access. So for that there is something called as load balancers. Okay, so load balancers, we use it for two purposes. Okay, so load balancer, so I'm going to keep it as this classic load balancer, application load balancer. Okay, so commonly I will take this. This is a symbol for load balancer. So now what this will do, this we can create in a public subnet. Okay, so public subnet. You getting the point? So you can create this load balancer in the public subnet. Because why? Be public subnet will be exposed to the internet. Correct? Isn't it? Because private will have only if it requires NAT. Sorry. If private subnet requires access to the internet, it will have a NAT gateway, which is hidden in the routing table and other things. But we cannot give access, but the customer also wants to access this server, right? So we create the load balancer in the public subnet, and from here they will access the application via the load balancer like this. So the customer will hit the internet. So let me draw here. So this is the internet. Okay, so and this is the customer. Okay, so these are say customers. So they will hit the URL. So how they will hit? By using the our domain name. We are going to do one hands-on project also where we'll host a static website. Okay, so www.example.com, and in this you are going to purchase one custom domain for your application. Correct? So this is www.example.com, and this example.com can be your any domain. It can be your Facebook, it can be your Google, anything. So first they will hit search for example.com, and then it via internet they will reach the load balancers. Okay, and it will hit the connection. Okay, in this way we are getting the security, and also the customer are able to access the application. Okay, so now why we use this load balancer? Because of two purpose. So one is already we discussed, that is because of security aspect. There is another point also for the load balancer. If the number of users are increasing like this, if the number of users are increasing day by day. Okay, suppose when you started your application you are just a startup and very like 100 or 1000 users were there. Now if it starts, they are referring to their friends also, and from 1000 it become 1 million users, then this server will crash, right? And you want your application to be highly available 24 bar 7 and 365 days. So for that, if there is no load balancer, then what will happen? you cannot dynamically add EC2 instance. But if there is a load balancer, you can dynamically add one or two EC2 instances like this. So now I am reducing the size so that you will understand. Okay, so now there are two. So you can add one more. The same load balancer, there will be what, two or three instances. We are going to do this hands-on, then you will understand. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to understand, isn't it? Isn't it? So same load balancer. So the front user will not come to know in backend what we the what is configured in the behind the scenes, whether it is coming from the same server or the different server. So because of load balancer, even today every organization will use load balancer. This is very important topic. You getting the point? Now we have, what do you say, two two to three types of load balancer. Actually one is already deprecated, so within no time that will not be there. That is classic load balancer. But the two main types of load balancer in AWS are, the first one is application load balancer, and the other one is network load balancer. Network load balancer. So let us discuss each of them. Okay, so this application load balancer works on layer 7. Layer 7 means our application layer. Okay, and supports HTTP and HTTPS protocol. Meaning whatever websites we use today, it is all based on HTTP. You take any website, for example, you take this scmgalaxy.com. Okay, you take any website. Now this is one of the these things, or else you take this.com, or you take the Jenkins. So if you observe here, is it HTTPS? So every website, even YouTube, you check YouTube, it is HTTPS. So whatever the websites are running today, they are all based on the HTTPS protocol. It means hypertext transfer protocol. HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, and it supposed path-based routing. I am explaining the different. Difference also. Okay, path-based routing. What do you mean by path-based routing? It means that whenever you access for example example.com, it will take you to one web server. So example.com/jobs, it will take you to another server. So that is called path based routing. For example, if you notice here, now if I type www.google.com, it will take me to some website. This is one common web page. But if I add some path here, for example, say Gmail, it will take me to other server. And if the same thing, if I come back, now this is a main page. Now if I say Drive, it will take me to the Google Drive. So this is what called path. So this is called the path. We are going to configure this also. Okay, Drive. Or if you say jobs, if that is configured, it will get, see, jobs.google.com. So that is configured. Say for example Mithun, that is not configured because google.com/Mithun, it is not a valid path, so that is why I am getting an error. Okay, but you can search for other pages like careers. This is another web page. Okay, now if you go for GCP, This is so GCP is not there, sorry, isn't it? So various, so this is called path based routing. So it supports for path based routing. But whereas network load balancer, it works on layer 4, not 7, layer 4. This works on the network layer. These are the different, my friends. Okay, network layer, and it works on TCP protocol. That is transmission control protocol, TCP protocol. Okay, and this is very expensive when you compare to a application load balancer. This is very expensive. Okay, and it does not support path based routing. It is port based routing. Port based routing. So port based routing means, for example, see, for HTTP also there is a port. For example, if I do google.com/443, so that is the default port for HTTPS. But if I same thing, if I do for some other port 8080, it will not work because 8080 it's not supporting. So this is called port based routing. Okay, so it's supposed port based routing. Okay, so in public subnet only we are going to configure this kind of setup. You getting the point? Okay, so let's start. Okay, enough of theory, so let us do the hands on, then you will understand. So let me log into the console. So I'm going to log in. And I'm going to enter the MFA code. Okay, so I have logged in. Okay, so now let me go to the EC2 instances. Yes, so now let us ready, I mean prepare our application servers. Okay, so I'm going to take two servers as I have explained in this diagram. So I told you, right? So you can attach two servers for the same application load balancer, isn't it? So I'm going to run it. So I'm going to launch two servers. So go to launch. I'm going to explain as web servers. Okay, you can select Amazon Linux. Okay, and number of instance I'm going to increase it to 2 because I don't want to waste time in creating the same instance again. I'm going to use the same one, and I'm going to proceed with the key pair which I'm having. Okay, and you can select whatever network you want. That is totally fine. Okay, and you have to allow HTTP traffic from the internet. That is port 80. Okay, and 443 also. And I was telling you, right? So I'm going to add another additional value. Okay, so this you can add it from here. That is the easy step, or else I'm going to show the second step where I will add after the instance creation. So I'm removing from here, and if you want you can create a user data also, that is totally fine. So let me pass the user data. So search for user data. Okay, so right. So now this is coming from, now this will take the dynamic value. So because the host name will be changed, okay, and so this will come from the dynamic value. Okay, and before that let me set some custom host name so that you will understand. So let's say before that let me run some command. Hostname ctl set dash hostname dash dash static is equal to, this one I will name it as apple.com. Okay, the same will be apple.com, but the difference will be in the IP addresses. Hostname, this is coming from the hostname, but the IP address is dollar IP. Okay, so let me just check that. So IP is equal to, I'll share this code with you guys, don't worry. IP is equal to config. Okay, clear. Okay. So this I will make it as a paragraph. Okay, so leave it as it is. And one more thing. Yes, so launch the instance. We can make other changes once the instance is created. Okay, so let this get created, no problem. Okay, so in one go we created two servers, which is web server, both are web server. Now you can check whether they are accessible from this IP addresses. So it will take some time because installing. So now meanwhile let us create the load balancer. So let me go to the EC2 dashboard. So you'll have a load balancer section. Go here and click on create load balancer. So as you can see, select the first one, application load balancer. Click on create. You can name it as my app. So you can name it as internet facing. You have to select internet facing. Okay, IPv4, and you can select on what subnets it is created. Let me check. Check this to availability zone. So US East 1A, US East 1A. Okay, so both are created in US East 1A. So you can select Y 1A and 1B. Okay, and you can say it as HTTP, and target group you have not created, so create a target group. So target group means, I will explain. It means it is a logical grouping where you want to add all the servers. So for now, I am adding both the servers because both are my application servers. So create a target group. I have already create a target group. Okay. And how you can delete? You can delete the old target groups if you have, to avoid the confusions. Okay. So now you have created a target group. Now if you refresh, you will select the target group, and then that's it. Leave other as it is. I mean other settings as it is. Just create it and click on view load balancer. So this will be coming as provisioning. Okay, now let me check whether the application is up. Yes, so this is coming from the IP address, and the IP addresses it is not taking. So let us change that. Some modification we may have to do, so we'll do it. So let us try to connect. Okay, it is still provisioning. So meanwhile we log into the EC2 instances. Okay, so first select this, click on connect, copy this. So log in. Okay, so it has taken as Apple, but let me see what issue has happened inside. Just a second. So IP is equal to, so echo dollar IP. Me and or else what we'll do, just copy this and Okay, so we are going to add it here, and similarly let me log into another server also. What is the IP address? 154, right? So we should not, we should log into this. No, 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 not this one. This one. So you can, okay, so and copy this. So again go to that location where, okay. So we have done the configuration to check and see whether the load balancer is active. Yes, it is active, and you can check by this one. So check the load balancer security group. Sometimes security group will not be allowed. Okay, so check the security group. So you have to change it to, so add rule, you can name it allow only HTTP traffic and anywhere, and save rules. Okay, so as you can see, this is coming from the IP address. Getting the point? So this is coming from the, so as you can see, if you keep on refreshing, the IP address is changing. See, 30.228, 17.154. So this is the use of load balancers. Okay, you're getting the point. This is the use of load balancer. Now this is for only one thing. Now if you have several other things, like if you want to route it to jobs or something like that, so it will not work. So how to configure that? It says URL is not found. So what will you do? So for that you need to configure inside the application. So go to where www html, and here create a directory called jobs, and go inside the jobs and create one index.html. Okay, and go to Google and download a sample this thing HTML. So sample HTML code for
Mr.
URL redirection.
Sorry, you are in the same page, I guess.
I'm in the same page.
Yes. Now it's visible.
No.
No, now it is visible, I guess.
Okay, so now we will URL redirection. Okay, so you can copy this. So copy and paste here, and if you want you can change the which website you want to redirect to. Okay, so for example job, right? So you can go to naukri.com, isn't it? So naukri.com, or here also you can change the same thing. So what this code will do, it will wait for 7 seconds and it will refresh. I will show you. Okay. So this is one application. It is ready. You can see now. If you do refresh, you will come to know. See here. Sorry. See. Please follow this link. It will wait for 7 seconds. After that, it will take you to the naukri.com. You're getting the point? Yes. Or else another server. Okay. So let me go to another server which we logged in previously. So here also we'll go to cd var var www html and create one directory like of the application name. So here also you can go to jobs. You can create jobs only, but the URL will be different. So go to jobs. Okay, and you can copy paste the same thing, but now I will follow a different like monster.com. Monster.com. Okay, so now let me just go back. See, now this is going to monster.com. If you don't want to wait for 7 seconds, you can click here. See, you're getting the point. Okay, so this is how you configure and load balancer are useful in this kind of scenarios. Okay, so like this, if you want for another application also, that also you can configure. Okay, is it clear? Yes or no? So similarly, now there is one more thing. Okay, now not only this, you can configure the path based routing from here also. If there are this you have configured hard, I mean this you have hard coded like this, but if you go to the load balancer and go to the listeners, okay, and you can, so you can go to the actions and edit the listener rules. Okay, you can add multiple applications, so there will be some other application which will be hosted on some other port number or some other these things. So for that scenario you can configure here also. You can leave here load balancers. Okay, clear? Now okay, now if you want you can create some other rules also like this. If you want to go and create some other additional rules, so for example you can switch the rule here. So someone is asking for slash jobs star, so you can forward to this target group. So you can add the path here also. Okay, and save. Or so you can forward to this, or else you can insert one more rule. if, and you can source IP. If the source IP, so what is my IP address? Say for example, what is my IP? So my IP address is this one. So for this IP addresses, I may tell them to block. So just a simple configuration I will do here. Okay, so if the source IP is this and slash 32, sorry, slash 32, okay, then what you need to do, I can forward to some target group, or else I can deny also. See, return a fix, like, so 400. So you can HTML unauthorized unauthorized access. So now if you see here, I will not be able to access this application load balancer. Let me show you. It will take some time. Okay, I have not saved. Okay, that is the reason. Now if I just restart. So I should get unauthorized access. We'll see. Maybe it is coming. See, sorry. So unauthorized access. So these kind of things you can do with the rules. You can add, keep on adding. Okay, you can edit the existing rule. So you can edit it. So you can add, for you can forward also, or you can redirect to some other URL. So you can redirect to some other. So if someone is coming from this URL, you can say like this. So these kind of actions you will do using the application load balancers. Clear? Okay, so I'm going to cancel and I'm going to delete this load balancer. And guys, keep, once you are done with the practice, please make it a habit to delete the load balancers. Okay, so go to actions and click on delete load balancer, because these are not free and they are not under free tier also, so you will be charged. So that is the reason. Okay, and you can go to the target groups. You can leave it as it is because they are not chargeable, but for your understanding you can always delete it. It doesn't matter. Okay, and easy to instance also you can delete. Okay, so now this was about the application load balancer. So now let us focus on the network load balancer, which is TCP based protocol. Okay, so for that I'm going to take a typical Tomcat application, which is a very heavyweight web server. So okay, so you can select this one. Okay, I'll share the link. Just a second. This. Okay, so what are the prerequisites? So it is asking for Tomcat, and an AWS account is required, and Java is required for the Tomcat to run. Okay, so you can download the Tomcat tar file from the below websites, and you have to make use of it. Okay, so now for this demonstration I will not install on the root disk, rather than I will attach another disk, and there I'll try to perform this operations, and then I will show you. Okay, so let me just hold on. Okay, so now let me log into this. Okay, so go to this, and you can select this star file. Okay, so for zip file it is suitable for which one? Windows machine. Okay, 32-bit Windows. So for us we will select the which one? Tar file. So click on this, or else copy this and go to any one of the server. Okay, so you have downloaded. Okay, so once, okay, now you need to unzip, like unarchive the folder, because this is in the tar.dz, right? So you need to uncompress this. Okay, so check whether unzip is installed in this. So yes, so unzip is installed. So that is the command or tool to unzip the package. Okay, or you can also use the tar command, which I am going to use now. So tar hyphen zvxf, xf, and okay, and you can leave it. So now it is ready. So almost it is ready. Okay, and now what we'll do now, this is in the which disk? This is in the root, and there is only one disk here which is of 8 GB. So I don't want to continue in this. I'm going to attach one more disk, and there I am going to copy this. Okay, so how to attach another disk? So go to AWS management console, US East 1B, and go to the volume section. Okay, and click on create volume. Okay, and here you can select any of the disk type. Select GP2 or GP3, both are one and the same, and select 10 10 GB, that is enough. Okay, and US East 1A, and just create. Okay, so you have created, and that will be displayed as this. Okay, now go to the actions and copy this volume ID and search for this here. and go to actions, click on attach volume, click on the instance. Now which is this instance ID? Check it. So you are in which server? Copy the IP address, that is 17.154, right? So you can terminate this. We don't need this server. So to avoid confusion, I am terminating the one more server. So I am having this. Yes. So go to the and refresh it, and you can attach web server, and you can attach as dev sdf. Now if you see, before attaching, one more time just see it, lsblk, there is only one disk, 8 GB, but now I will attach volume. Just see here what will happen. xvdf. Clear? You getting the point? Okay, so lsblk-f, you get a. Now this is just a raw disk. Okay, so this is a raw disk. So how will you create a file system for this? So first you need to install one package called lvm2. Okay, it's already installed. So now you have to do pv. Okay, don't worry, these are all comes under Linux administration task, so you don't have to worry. Just for your understanding, I'm explaining, that's it. Okay, then vg create vg dash tomcat, and then dash dev slash xvdf. Okay, that is also created. Now I am going to create lv create hyphen n lv dash tomcat hyphen l. I'm going to make it as say 9 GB. Okay, or I'm going to use full, say 10 GB from vg dash tomcat. So these are all, don't worry, this is a like. Okay, so it is created. So lv scan, it is created, and then mkfs dot ext4, that's it. So now I'm going to lv scan. Now if you do lsblk-f, so it is going to show this partition. Okay, so now you can lv scan and enter inside the okay, and you have to create directory called tomcat. I'm going to mention the okay, that's it. So now I'm going to create one directory called slash tomcat, and I'm going to run mount hyphen va. So that's it. So now you can see this tomcat we have. Now I'm going to, where am I? I'm going to move this application to the tomcat directory. So I'll move Apache tomcat to slash tomcat. So as you can see, now I have already moved. Clear? So this step is done. Because why I am doing this, I just want to show you guys that in real time we are going to have application mount points like this. We don't install any application in the root disk. It is not best practice. So that is the reason I am showing you this step. Okay, clear? So now I am going to this cd tomcat. Okay, and cd apache tomcat, and cd bin, and there is one script called startup.sh. Just run that. Okay, so it says Java, it's not installed, so you need to install the Java. So yum install Java. So you have to install that. Okay, so it is installation is complete. Now I will run the script. So as you can see, it is now running. Tomcat server is started. So where it is running? So it is running in the different mount point. You getting the point? So startup.sh, and if you want to shut down, you can shut down the sh. Now if you want to access this application, so if you want to access this application, so go to the instances section and click here, go to security and open the port number 8080. Okay, so go to the security group, click on inbound rules, add rule, select custom TCP 8080, and you can select from anywhere. Now just collect the IP address and you can access this server. Okay, but now it will not get access. Why? See, it is getting for the old application, but your application is different, which is port 8080. So that we are going to, so as you can see, now this is another application which we have in. Very easy, very easy. Just you have to follow these instructions. That's it. Okay, and same way you can configure the load balancer. So let me show you the network load balancer. Sorry, go to load balancer section. Create load balancer. Now here select network and always select internet facing. So my NLB network load balancer. Select US East 1A and 1B. Okay, and you can here you can listen on 80, so that it will forward to, so you can create a target group also. So create target group, select instances. Okay, and select the protocol TCP. You can mention as TCP target group, and port is 8080. Okay, and click on next. Okay, and select this server and create the target group. And if you refresh and create load balancer, so it will take some time to. So let it wait so that it gets created. So I'll refresh. So network load balancer, it will take some time as it is like quite expensive. So we'll wait. So still it is taking time. So okay, now it has become active. So now let me see. So as you can see, even though it is listening on TCP port 80, it is forwarding to 8080. So these are the ways you can use the load balancer. Now in this way you can add multiple. So you can create an AMI and backup. Okay. So this is the way. So this is how you have seen how you can launch the application. Right. So very simple, and this application is, where am I am in the slash tomcat, which is in another disk. Okay, so this is the way, and yeah, that's it for the load balancers. Any doubt you can ask me. So and meanwhile I will share the documents for you to practice, so you can follow this. And any doubt, guys? No doubt. Very easy, seems to be easy. And please don't forget to delete the load balancer, otherwise you will be billed. So delete the load balancers, and you can delete the target groups, and you can instance also you can terminate. Okay. But when you add a additional disk, right? So that will not get deleted. So you have to delete on your own. So select it and delete. So click on delete volume, because this is a secondary volume you have attached. So along with the instance it will not get deleted. So you have to explicitly delete the secondary additional volume which you created. Okay. Okay. Clear? Okay. So any doubt, guys? So you can follow the commands there itself. Very easy, some 3-4 commands. Right. So if there are no doubts, then that's it. Let me stop the recording.